And we're live again on the twitch.tv/the Xisuma. Going to be playing on the Hermitcraft today. Making our mega mini game, or our mini mega game. I'm not sure which way around it is really. Just making sure I've got everything set up here. Looks like we're good to go. If you watched my little channel announcement video, you'll know that I died while recording it, funny enough. Got all of our items back, which is good. I need to drop off about 16 stacks of copper. And I had like 350 levels of XP, and now I'm kind of disappointed. I'm like, oh, I liked having a pro number down there just to show, you know, how amazing I am at this game, or using some cheaty XP farm. I don't know. So pretty much like 9... 11, 12, yeah, pretty much fill this chest up is what we need to do. Grab some more copper. Fill it to the brim. All of that goes in there. Cool, easy peasy. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Right. Next destination is a shop that sells books. Can you guess what it is? Using your stream as an escape from my research homework. Hey, don't neglect your homework. I want you to become super smart and intelligent. Do all that hard work and get those results. Don't let me be a distraction. I'm a terrible derp. I'll just put all the wrong ideas in your head. Let's see. I want to get unbreaking on that and mending. I mean, actually, the unbreaking, well, we don't have a choice on that front, it would seem. Mending's up here. Let's grab some demons. Some demons? Some demons, you say? Yeah, then a quick trip to the... Well, actually, you know, it wouldn't have been a trip to the end at all had I not lost all of this XP. Well, there you go. And I don't really need to repair it, so that's that. I'm just going to chuck it in there. That'll kind of remind me to drop that off at my farm later on. So, with that little job done, I for some reason thought in my head this might take a bit of time. We go over to the Mega Mini game. Licky Sticky Icky, thank you for 37 months. AJ Main 12, thank you for 29. Greatly appreciated. When is Scar's charity live streams, this little hawk? It is, if I'm not mistaken, a week today. A week today on Sunday. In roughly, let's say we fast forward 15 minutes, then it would be another 4 hours? 4 hours and 15 minutes from this time. So, you know. And if you're watching on the second channel, don't be leaving some clever clogs comment about, oh, Joe, I'm watching this at 3 in the morning. You're wrong. You know I'm doing this live. Damashu, thank you for 2 months, my dude. Greatly appreciated. So I need some more gigapies. Oh, where am I going to get some gigapies from? Dang it! We were just in the shopping area, and now I'm noticing I'm dangerously low on the old gigapies. Where on earth will I get one from? Oh, you're all going to call me a derp now, aren't you? Like, you were there a minute ago, you should go get... No, I'm trolling you. Oh, you don't think I'm that silly, do you? How much are they? 1 diamond per stack. Well, I've got money to spend. God, you really thought I was that silly, didn't you? Kikanui, thank you ever so much for 2 months. Appreciate your support. I hope you're entertained. And if you're not, well, I'm failing. Failing to do my purpose in life. Right, upwards and onwards we go. To the left, and down here. Hey X, would you ever consider doing a tutorial for custom block/data models? No, I wouldn't, because I am not capable of doing them. I'm capable of explaining some of the aspects of getting that stuff to work, but not all of it, that's for sure. Some things that you ask for, you got to realise, are no easy answers. And they require skill sets and technical knowledge that you have to spend a bunch of time researching and figuring out through trial and error. No one's going to give you a quick answer on how to do, oh, how'd you put this into the game? Like, you got to go learn how to create assets and learn how to code them using data packs and all sorts. Cobra Cakes, thank you ever so much for your cheers and biddies. No message with that one. We got MK Zelda here for 10 months. Thanks for the quality content. Appreciate it. How did y'all like the 1.20 update video? I feel like that was one of my better pieces of coverage. I'm always trying to improve, right? And so every time I go to do that, I have like a bit of a better workflow, a bit of a better way to get all the things sort of down and out. One detail that's different though, I didn't really pick up on it because how they explained the redstone work to us was different than how they explained it in the live event. I didn't quite catch it. Just because I was taking notes and sort of had my attention split a little bit at the time. But yeah. X, what do you think the new plant will be that the sniff will come with? Don't know. It'll probably be a plant of some sort. Right, so as far as we got with this was pretty much everything right there that you can see. Thus leading us to work on the next part, which has some lava. We'll put the lava in last. So it looks like what I really want next is a whole bunch of bone blocks stripped this stuff, Crimson Hyperphy, and some signs need to go up there too. Need a crafting bench. Hey, noise in the ear. It's Chad Jazz. Thank you so much for the prime. Appreciate it. Appreciate it, Chad. I love Hermitcraft and love to watch y'all do really good. Love the content of it, says Cobra Cakes. Thank you. Glad you enjoy it, my dude. Thank you again for those cheers and biddies. Glad I caught your message. Right, we need 4 of those for now. Chuck that in there. Not doing the lava. Maybe you need a bit more of this. Probably need a lot more of that, actually. And then stone blocks, I think we need. And bone blocks. Stone blocks, bone blocks. Randy Nicole, 2002, the one, the only, 90 months. I said 90. You didn't hear incorrectly. 90. That's insane. Thank you, Randy. I appreciate you. Can't wait for the 1.20 snapshot, says R2T4. It won't be long. It won't be long. That's what's crazy. Let's go grab a shovel. I've got a feeling we're going to push into the terrain a little bit here. Shovel, shovel, shovel. My favourite part of the whole event, announcing carefully it's clear they've learned about undelivered features. Kinda sad it had to come to that, but I'd like there to be a new update and snapshot method. If my mods would be so kind, I'd love it if we could do a little bit of a live poll, just asking people like how you feel in terms like on a scale of like 1 to 5. Wait, how many options does Twitch give you? I'm not sure, but it'd be cool to get a poll that's not just like yes or no to the new update, but kind of like I'm excited, I'm not excited, this is terrible, this is the best thing ever, you know, like a bit of a range. I was kind of expecting the audience to have a sour reaction, but I think the message got across well. At least, you know, when I look at my own video, it's obviously my presentation influences that, so I hope that the approach Mojang are taking was communicated, you know, well elsewhere too, as I think it's important that their message kind of comes across. Personally, I think it was a good live for people looking forward to Legends and Dungeons, says Dev Chimera. Yeah, you know, there's a lot of bias in the Minecraft community when you're not interested in those games to just kind of dismiss them. Who goes there? Someone goes there. Wait, who's streaming? XB streaming? So am I. Do you know, I rarely see XB streaming, if I'm not mistaken. He streams on Twitch, right? On your announcement video, there is no thumbnail. Really? I added some art to it. Yeah, it looks like there is for me. Let's let that page refresh. Let's try and go on update. No, there's thumbnail. There's thumbnail for me. It's fan art. When is MC live? It was yesterday. You've missed it. I'm excited for bamboo blocks, but not thrilled about the texture. Colour? Can't quite figure out why it's putting off for me. I think it's a little oversaturated. That would be my guess. So we kind of want another row of blocks here. Oversaturated is how it looks to me. It needs to be a little bit more refined on the colour scale, I think. Then again, you know, I don't have a lot of experience with bamboo IRL, so it might actually be pretty accurate. Too similar to birch. Yeah, definitely similar to birch. But the way the textures are different, they're not normal textures, I think kind of works well. Anyway, do we have a poll going, or did no one make one? Let me have a look. I actually don't know what I would click on here. Oh, there it is, poll. Oh, there it is. Thank you. It's been made. View results. And it just ended just a second ago. Perfect timing. So, on a scale of 1 to 5, 4 has 50%, 3 is 26, 2 is 11, 5 is 11, 1 is 5. To me, that sort of says what I was picking up in my comments. People who are like upset with this update are kind of the outliers this time around, I think. I was, you know, anticipating a negative reaction and then creating like a little video about the response and some of the reasons I think it might be that way, but I think people got the message, which is good. Although I'd love to see some less saturated wood types that are more grey, white or black, says Sana Blue. This might be an opportunity to do that, but you know, it depends what sort of feedback gets through to the Mojang team a lot of the time. Right, how long have I been streaming? 12 minutes. I've got a hot cup of tea, perfect time to drink it. Today I've had some enjoyable cups of tea because I've been just doing non-stop jobs and cleaning around the house. Been on my feet all morning. And that's nice because that means I get to enjoy a cup of tea, you know, while it's hot. I'm not distracted by other stuff. On Twitter, most I've seen is unhappiness with the updates. Examples are in the comments on the Minecraft account tweets, and those are from the devs. RO2, what you got to remember is that there's bias wherever you go. And Twitter tends to be like a negative atmosphere, I've noticed. So if you take my video comments as an example, that's after I've explained it in the way that I do, which is to try and clearly articulate Mojang's intention that this is a small announcement and it's here because of previous mistakes made. You know, I haven't read too many arguments. I've seen a few, but honestly, I think like you're holding on to past grievances if you're not giving them a chance with this, because people were upset and they said, you know, Mojang needs to sort it out, and they have. They've responded by saying, we hear you, we're going to only show things that are definitely in the update this time and nothing else. And that's what people were sort of asking for, one way or another. So when it comes to the criticism this time, you know, if it's about what's been shown or the lack of what's been shown, I mean, they've kind of done the right thing, the way I see it. Sir Ripoff says, what Mojang is doing is become the standard in tech, under promise and over deliver. Well, that's not what they've been doing, right? That's the problem. They were doing the opposite. They were over promising and under delivering. That's why the attitude has turned, and now they've had to take the approach of trying what you've just described. Well, or at least to get back there, because in the past it definitely felt like updates had a sense of that. They did pre-CNC updates, says to Beard. Yeah, that's what I said, you know. Cobra Cakes is here, more cheers and biddies, saying my friend recommended me to Hermitcraft and I just fell in love with it. Awesome. What a great friend, sharing the amazingness of Hermitcraft with you. Thank you for the cheers and biddies, my dude. We've got Cybot2419, the one, the only, here for, well, not the one and the only, the 200 and The 2419th. Okay, terrible joke. I'm hoping the new bookshelves will be compatible with hoppers. Oh, yeah. Might be able to do something cool with that. But most books aren't stackable, right? So, item filter wise, unless... Do just regular books go into 64? Book and Quill doesn't. Enchanted Book doesn't. But if the regular book does, you could rename it. And that way you could rename a book, put it in a bookshelf, and do redstone. Caitlin0613, thank you for 2 months. Oh, thank you for the lovely message. Appreciate that. I like the idea of that. That's a really cool idea. Regular is 64, written is 16, enchanted is 1. Is written 16? Dang, it might be. People seem to have been very surprised about the Tough Golem getting so few votes, so I was wondering if the Minecraft community echo chambers has something to do with that, and the Rascal was just so much more popular in other areas of the world. Yeah, echo chambers is always a problem, right? It's like I just described about the difference between looking for feedback on Twitter and then on one of my videos. So I saw a tweet sent my way, like, sort of suggesting that the vote was paywalled, that you could only vote with a paid account, which was like, well, yeah, you need a copy of the game to vote this year, but that's like, it's the biggest selling game of all time, so calling it a paywall is a bit, you know, sort of bending truths a little. But like, to frame it as a conspiracy, it just, yeah, but it could be because that person is just in an echo chamber with their friends or whatever talking about how amazing the Tough Golem is, and then, you know, like, these are the things that I worry about this sort of thinking. Need to get like a balanced perspective on how things work. So, you know, wherever I was going, I was looking for feedback, and it was just Sniffer everywhere. Seemed to be the key candidate, so the vote was no surprise. You know, I had a video come out the moment they announced the Sniffer as the winner because I'd already recorded it. Like, it seemed like a given to me. I mean, the Tough Golem definitely felt a little lower than might have seemed fair. I really thought the Rascal would have been bottom, but hey, you know, it maybe had more support than you realise. Right, so now as we build all of this up, gotta keep stripping these logs. Well, I don't have a Twitter account, so why am I left out because of that, says Aku Inu. I mean, it's not that you're left out, it's just that the environment on Twitter is different. It attracts different sorts of opinions and people. Nordic Aeon, thank you ever so much for 16 months. Appreciate it, my dude. Greetings from Germany. Thank you, thank you. Hey, we've got a donation here. It's day 259 saying I just woke up and had a dream you were sad. So I hugged you. Not sure if you're a fan of hugs, but I'm still pretty shook from the dream. So here goes a little virtual hug. Thank you for all you do. What a lovely little sentiment. Thank you so much. I'm definitely not sad, so don't worry about your dream. You've reminded me of a dream that I'll talk about in just a second. When it comes to hugs, I like hugs from people I know. I'm not one of those, like, hug a stranger type people. Some good tea right there. Yeah, I had a dream the other day, right, that I went to Mr. Python GB's place to say hello. And in my dream, his apartment was squalid, which is probably not a reflection of him, and more of a reflection of trauma I've held with me, having been to houses of, like, hoarders and people that can't clean up after themselves. And by that I mean over a long period of time. Like, I've seen some disgusting living spaces, and I absolutely hate it. It's like it's the opposite of what I am. I'm Mr. Super Clean and Tidy. So yeah, I think it was just a little bit of, like, that trauma coming through. Anyway, so I'm hanging out with Python. He's like making his videos on this computer, and he's got like spiky hair. And then there's other people there as well. And have this moment where my mouth, right, this is brilliant. This is just like, you're going to be like, what? My mouth fills up with toenail clippings and I have to go and like spit them out. And like, you feel like you got all of them out and then there's more. And anyway, you spend like a little bit of time clearing these toenail clippings out from your mouth that have spontaneously appeared there. Okay. I think I was expressing some sort of underlying anxiety against cleanliness or dirtiness or something, because it's just like, I don't like being dirty. Anyway, then it sort of occurs to me that this is actually just a normal occurrence, right? That every now and then toenail clippings just get in my mouth, and I thought, rather than hide it, I'll try and explain it to other people and see what they think. And so I spent the rest of the time trying to convince Python and these other people that this was like totally a thing that happens. And I was like, look, come look, see there's loads of toenail clippings in this sink where I've been washing out my mouth. Like, this happened, and no one would believe me. And then like the dream sort of descended into another place and another bunch of weirdness. But yeah. Fear of feet, says the penguin girl. I don't think it is. I don't think it's a fear of feet. It's I don't know, it's just like a weird... I feel like a lot of the time the brain just like reaches into random spaces in your head. And like, toenail just happens to be the thing that it finds. I was supposed to put my camera account on. Just chuck it on now. Yeah. Oh, and then it'll be in the wrong place. A dream of something happening to you and no one believing you. Yeah. I don't read into them that deep all the time. Like, to me, it feels like if there's something deep there, I'll think about it for a little bit and it'll be like, oh, that's because of this. A lot of the time, I do think dreams just express the more, let's say, ambient anxiety or, ambient stress. I heard this thing recently about how noise pollution creates stress in your body. The sort of stress you're probably not aware of, like passive, unrealized small stresses. And that cars, the sound of cars whizzing past you is enough noise to set off that stress response. It just made me think, like, yeah, I absolutely love going out into nature, walking among the trees. It's peaceful and calming, and like maybe one of the things you haven't factored in is like how it's quieter. You kind of know it's because it's quieter, but you don't think in terms of like the noise creates like a stress response. And since I heard that, every time like cars go past me now, I'm thinking like, oh, is this like slightly stressing me out because your alertness level will rise a little bit? There's potential danger and whatnot. So it feels to me like dreams a lot of the time just kind of amplify those sort of ambient anxieties and they just manifest in weird ways. I don't think they're always some deep meaning or anything like that. Atomic Knight, thank you for the raid. We've got Dennis TNT here for 7 months and Matchy3107 here for 31 months. YoX, people looking at me for watching you in the gym. Alright. I mean, when I go to the gym, it's all music for me. It's weird because I love listening to podcasts and stuff, but I feel like it takes up too much of my concentration. I like music because it's like a focus on what I'm doing, and it's a bit more like enjoyable passively. I believe it, the sounds of highways made me panic a bit, says Lynn _. Yeah. They will naturally. Loud sounds do it. It just makes so much sense, There's so much like that goes on that's subconscious, and we don't always see the world that way because like the loud noise is like in a way a fear of the unknown or a potential danger, yet we don't really exist that close to the nature of reality that we evolved for, right? So we kind of live in a comfort that our evolution wasn't anticipating, and thus you can walk through a city kind of knowing you're safe while your body is actually responding to certain signals or like sounds, like loud noises, in a different way to your conceptual understanding of like what's going on around you. If you went back, let's say like 10,000 years as a human, and put yourself in an environment where it was as loud as standing in the middle of like London or something, like whatever that situation was, and things being that loud, that would probably be a very dangerous, problematic situation, right? Because there isn't concepts that we understand of like, you know, cities and all this sound is generated by vehicles moving around. You don't have all of that. Is this, this is the top of the thing, isn't it? And you can see the bones go as far back as over here. And possibly to there. It's kind of hard to see what's happening right here, actually. Well, we'll do it one layer at a time. The Last Psycho, thank you ever so much for 54 months. And Coopsy is here for 2 months saying, "Hi X, can I just say how refreshing it is to listen to someone give a well thought out and decently researched perspective on topics. The Xisuma Says channel is amazing." Oh, thank you so much. Appreciate it. I'm assuming that's in response to the AI video. Yeah, I spend a lot of time listening to podcasts with people that know better than me. And so I feel like I managed to find a bunch of good ideas. Pass them on. Nick Nasty, thank you ever so much for 88 months. Dang. That's not nasty, that's amazing. Hope you're having a good day. I am. Appreciate it. Guess what? After today's stream, gonna have a curry and watch a movie. I picked out Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind or something like that. It's this Jim Carrey movie where, you know, at the time it was like, oh, Jim Carrey's all serious in this movie, right? As if he couldn't do that because he's a comedian or something. Anyway, I think I only ever watched it once, like when it first came out, and that was it. And it's from an era of cinema that I'm fond of because I grew up watching movies in, you know, that era, and I thought this would be a good one to tune out and have a watch after all of that rapid video editing yesterday. It's a little bit on the stressful side, as much as I enjoy it. You're sort of like in a race against the clock. Get your video out, but quality is important too, and so I took the time to get that edit as best as I could. I just rewatched The Truman Show, one of my favourite movies, says Squishy Snail. I like that movie a lot too. For me, I think it's a movie that I've like, what would you say, like understood or sort of taken in really well, that I don't know. I don't feel the need to watch it again anytime soon. What plant are you hoping to see with a sniffer? Don't know. Don't know. It could. There isn't a particular plant that I'm hoping for. I'm probably more interested in the mechanics of the plant and how it would be used elsewhere in the world. Maybe interested in its aesthetics a little. Have been wanting to watch Idiocracy again, says Temperate. See, there's a movie where I've like internalized its message and understand it, yet every now and then get that itch to watch it again. I think it's because of the comedy layer. It just makes it so rewatchable. Yeah, I absolutely love that movie. Terrific. It was made by the guy who made Beavis and Butthead, right? And King of the Hill. And I absolutely love both of those shows. Minecraft should add tomato plants so Doc can be happy. I don't know the reference. Mike Judge, that's the guy, Mike Judge. Are we putting yet another round of this stuff here? It looks like it. Hey, we got Cheers and Biddies here from Fegley with a big question saying, what's your opinion on the current transport situation of the game? The new camel mob seems to fill a combat vehicle niche currently not in the game, but do you think it will see widespread use? I always felt that due to the overpowered nature of the rocket booster Elytra, it made vehicle additions redundant, even though they have their own uses. Should other vehicles like minecarts, boats and horses receive an overhaul to keep up, so their used more often for their niches? Great question. I think I'm in agreeing with you, by the way. Totally with you. So first of all, the camel, I'm really excited for. I think it looks terrific. The fact that 2 people can ride it makes it very like social, and then 1 person at the back can, you know, as you see in the trailer, fire at zombies. You could interact with things for minigame redstones. So it's certainly serving a niche among the different transport types in the game. As for like the other ones, I think the ship has sailed on doing that, because once you introduce the Elytra rocket, you've kind of, if you try and take that away, I feel like you probably need to take it away more than you need to buff the other things. I don't think you can take it back at this point, right? Like, people will cry. Like, the player base will go mad. Maybe some players might see the wisdom of that move or the bigger picture, but I think most people are going to just moan and complain. So what should have happened really with the introduction of the Elytra is that it should have been way better balanced. There shouldn't have been that cheeky little trick to boost with the bow, because that then led to the use of the rocket. What you needed is like it to be introduced in a very balanced way. Like, it was initially going to be a glider where you could just throw that on and glide from a height, which in a ways could have complemented the other ones, because you could build infrastructure to get to a high spot in the world and then glide off to another spot, right? And then that would probably be more in balance with building a minecart track and taking that. So I think in order to have these other types of transports compete in a ways, maybe competition is not what they need to do. They need to be their own thing, right? They need to introduce new ideas. So minecarts have always had the possibility of becoming like a train or being linked together, and that sort of functionality could be really useful. But there's always other things in the game that kind of overpower it. Like the Ender Chest, for example. The Ender Chest kind of stops you from making portable transport, because it is portable transport. If you could put shulkers into a minecart, which you can do with a command, they can be put in a nicely nested way. That would have been a great opportunity to make minecart tracks around your world to bring shulker boxes to you. But the Ender Chest kind of really overpowers that. Ha! That's the way we'll do that bit. But maybe not that bit. Oh yeah, we've got to place a sign that says look down. Should it have a space in it? I think it should. Otherwise it just becomes one word. I always viewed minecarts as the automated option for transport, while boats were for minigames and 2 entity transport, while horses were for early to mid-game movement. Yeah, that sounds like a pretty balanced perspective on it. Although I'd say, in terms of automated, like, maybe just not automated enough. Problem I think with playing on Hermitcraft is just like there's such a quick trip to the end game that you kind of skip over a lot of the mid game stuff. You can get to the end game quick if you know what you're doing, and that kind of takes away from those ideas. Oh right, I've got these big pillars here to make as well. Look down, I should really finish this tea. It's probably quite cold now. Yeah, I think that one's a failure. I like the Elytra for the efficiency it has brought to the game, whilst I also dislike it for that very reason. Yeah, I'm the same. I mean, it depends on your playstyle and what you're in the game for. Like, one of the things that I find gratifying in a game is sort of creating something yourself through the lens of like puzzle, solution, problem, and the time that you put into doing that, then makes the reward worth it. Whereas in this game, a lot of stuff isn't through the lens of that. You know, it's like you would venture to go to the end to get the reward. Whereas maybe if it was like built around redstone, you would be engineering some sort of contraptions and certain things to help you get to that next step. But that's not accessible for the average player, I guess. And it's not entirely what Minecraft is supposed to be. Minecarts need to be better for automation, like item collection. Well, I would say that they are of the last update, are they not? The item collection system we last built all revolved around using minecarts, and pretty much every contraption that I build going forward will have a, do I want to use a minecart as part of this component? I think they really did a good job with that one. That's one of those small changes that's actually massive. It's actually a big deal. Hey, can I ask you a question, says Totally MCR. Yeah, everyone gets one question, so consider your question answered. Thank you. Now, next person. Who's got a question? Remember, only one. Only one. Don't get cheeky. Mason0450. Thank you ever so much for gifting subs. Whole lot of docs, and they just call me JB. Y'all been gifted subs. Be sure to say thanks to Mason in the chat. We always appreciate the gifting of the subs, and we also got Kodishi here for 59 months. Thank you ever so much. Appreciate ya. Also, 1,200 peeps tuned in. Be sure to hit the follow button over here on the twitch.tv/thexisuma, where I'll be streaming more Hermitcraft real soon. And also, if you haven't done so already, go check out linktree.xisuma.co. I do a whole bunch of stuff on the internet, and through there you can find links to those other things. How much is your PC setup, says Totally MCR. How much what is it? It's, well, it's 100% set up in terms of I'm not doing anything else to it. I have sort of been considering a new PC. I don't really need one, but like, I really enjoyed building this PC, and there's now the what's it called? The 490s coming out real soon. That one kind of crept up on me. I'm hoping there isn't as much of a push for like crypto use with it, and therefore might be able to get my hands on one. You know, my old system it's kind of like quite old for doing this now. So if I were to get a new PC, it would mean my fallback would just be totally competent and capable. But yeah, you know, I have this attitude of wanting to make things last, and there really isn't much of a reason, but I think what I do need to do is do a reinstall at some point. I've had a couple of, like, it hasn't happened in a while, but like a month or two back, it like crashed 3 or 4 times in a month, and I don't know, it just gave me some signs of maybe something's like up and it needs fixing here and there or something. You know, a reinstall is not a bad idea every now and then, but then you have to redo all your settings, and there's always stuff that you forget, and it ends up like slowing you down. I'm gonna need more than that. So yeah, maybe like a fresh install of Windows might go a long way. Where did Derpcoin originate? Season 8 of Hermitcraft is where it originated. What's your opinion on the 120 update, says the Apple? I think so far so good. 4 competent looking features that will fit in well. Nothing majorly game changing, but certainly new things for players to do. And I kind of feel like, you know, yes, it doesn't look like it's going to be a major big game changing update or something like the Nether update, but maybe that's what they just need right now, a bit of a break from all of that. Just kind of find their footing again, that sort of thing. But Derpcoin was a thing before Season 8 though, in your community, says Curls. It might have been. My brain gets a bit fuzzy with this stuff. Hey, we got Sektrov here for 33 months and some more gifted subs. Icepick, thank you so much for your generosity. Docs is on Twitch now. Not Your Mum's Kid. Penelope Psych. Slice Benedictus. And the Penguin Girl. Y'all been gifted subs. Be sure to say thanks in that chat. Greatly appreciated. Do you think they'll tackle the inventory problems anytime soon, since so many people and content creators have openly requested it, says Santa Blue. I'm getting the impression that internally they're not really capable of addressing it for whatever reasons, and to me it feels like we need to keep prodding and poking them. Because, there's, you know, it really is a thing to be dealt with. And it could go a long way to make the game so much more enjoyable and whatnot. Right, before I bring the camera account back on, I'm just going to need to look at what I'm actually doing next. It all gets a bit sort of tricky trying to decide what to go where, but I think if we just focus on that to begin with, we'll be okay. Like, get that section done and then we're good. So let's do a little bit of digging. And do all of this back here. How low does it go? One block lower. Looks like we're going to carve a bit of stone here. Maybe I should have put this in a bit of a different spot, because I'm going to have to do a bunch of terraforming at some point to make it all work too. Hey, the Burnfield! Thank you ever so much for 6 months. Appreciate your support. I hope you're enjoying the stream, entertained, all that good stuff. They should have added advanced shulkers to the game that can hold shulkers, but also go into a chest. I don't think that's a solution. I think that's just like condensing a bit of storage space, but you're still just going to end up constantly shuffling through inventories to get to items. Because there's a lot of items, there's a lot of item clutter. Right, that's the corner of... That's a bit more than what we needed. At least for now. That's the space that we need. And I'm kind of out of the material I need the most next. I just need another row of inventory space, please, Mojang, says Evil Freak. You know, it won't solve the problems in the long run, but it will certainly help a little bit immediately. That much seems to be clear. Super rare item drop from Warden that gives you 18 more inventory space. Now, you see, I don't think that's a great way to do game design, because what you're saying is go grind the mob that you're not actually supposed to kill because it's been designed for you to run away from. I mean, the fact that it drops something anyway is just a little bit silly. Like, they did it to appease the technical community, and I don't think it was that wise. I don't think the technical community quite understood this isn't a typical Minecraft interaction. This is something you're supposed to run away from and be fearful of and never want to encounter. So they've introduced like an element of horror to the game, and it should stay that way. The idea of like grinding out a warden fight over and over again just to get more inventory space is so silly, because it's going to ask every player to go do that, and in order to get that space, and it's a very difficult challenge. If they're going to introduce like expanded inventory space, it needs to be done. I don't think the solution is in just expanding the space through an item or something. I really wish for more working together with mobs in the game, like the LA helping with building in Legends and building exploit farms for all their mobs and drops. That's a nice idea. I think, oh no, who was it? It was Lizard suggested that you could have a golem that acts like an AFK player. Like, you could leave it somewhere and it does what the player usually does, which I thought was kind of cool. But the thing with that is, like, AFK clickers is this area in the game where it's like, some players will do it and it gives them sort of power play, but it's actually not something the average player does. So if you give it to every player, you're sort of not fixing the problem. You're actually just letting more people use this thing. And that's probably not what you actually want. But it is certainly a cool idea that there are some areas of automation in this game that they could introduce a mob to help the player do. Anyway, I've discussed the inventory at length as of late, and just feel like I repeat myself a lot of the time now. RetroMom702, thank you for 15 months of support. Greatly appreciated. Hope you're enjoying the stream. The bundle was a good idea if they actually add it, says Lel. I didn't think the bundle was that good. What the bundle is a quick way to throw a load of junk into a bundle. And it's sort of like just putting down a junk chest and chucking things into it. I did not think much of the bundle. However, if combined with the inventory solution I proposed, then, you know, those junk items are kind of like accessible again at the push of a button. So less management, less, oh, where did I, you know, what bundle was that item in that I now need? Anyway, how about a new subject, new topic of conversation? How's that, TX? It's cold and done. It's finito, it's finished. It's over with. Are you excited for the charity event? Yeah, I am. Definitely excited. I'm going to be able to participate in the whole thing. Although, past 10 o'clock, I don't know what I'm going to be like. I like my sleep. I like my routine. But yeah, you know, a late one every now and then ain't so bad, is it? When is the charity event? It is this time next week. Plus a few hours, plus 3.5 hours. Or is it 4.5? No, it's 3.5. Wanted to make sure I get that right. Would it be fair game for Mojang to take a modded feature wholesale into vanilla? Only if they have permission of everyone involved in that mod, right? How do you tell what's happening with all the building ghosts? Precisely that. The building ghosts tell me what's happening, right? Like they tell me where to put the blocks. That's how I'm able to build this massive thing, because I know where to put everything. Have you ever listened to Lovejoy? I do not think I have or even heard of. What am I building? I don't know. What's the title of this stream? I'm building a mega mini game or a mini mega game. Not sure actually. It's one of those. Okay, that's all of that bit done, right? Now I think we need a healthy amount of bone blocks next. Do you have any thoughts on Overwatch 2, says Magic Frog? No. A big small game, that's what we're building. That is what we're building. Where are those bone blocks at? There's some of them. Renewable TNT or renewable sand? Yeah, I think actually... I think having most resources in the game renewable to some extent is a good idea. Sand's kind of like an easy one to collect. I like the idea of a TNT dispenser or something where you just feed it gunpowder, but yeah, it could potentially be quite an overpowered thing to do. I should have brought more of those deep slate things for me. I just think like one block at a time sometimes, which isn't always bad. Down here though, need a little bit of that, don't we? This, fun fact for you. Those are supposed to be bone blocks. No? Oh yes, of course, that's supposed to, yeah, be completely open. This was probably the first minigame actually designed for this event, and probably the last one to be constructed. Just a fun little thing, really. My favourite feature in any game is a grapple hook that works so well with vanilla instead of rockets. That would, actually. That sounds really cool. As an alternative to... And then you like might want to construct the terrain to better suit your grappling. That sounds super cool. You know, for a long time I've always wanted to play like a modded version of Minecraft. Because I'm a one-world player and I play on Hermitcraft, it's going to like... I do what Hermitcraft does. Hang on, I'm going to have to, yeah, think for a second. There's all of that up there, so that's why that's staying. But yeah, doing little changes like that, like being, right, okay, instead of elytra, let's put in grapple hook. That could be so cool. So much fun. Another really interesting thing it would be to ask the audience is, like, what would they think of a Hermitcraft that's... Let's not call it modded, but, like... are modifications, right? So don't think mod pack, don't think, oh, throwing in this mod, throwing in that mod, but more like well thought out small changes. Like one thing I'd like is a simple automatic crafting, not for the vanilla game, but more for how it would add some interesting challenges. Like I was transporting some bone blocks around the other day, and I was just thinking, wouldn't it be cool if like this farm could just hook up directly to the thing that I want to use bone meal for? That would just save me like a lot of this grinds time, and it would introduce some automation challenges. Now, I'm not saying that should be what Minecraft is about, but for me, I think it'd be a lot of fun. Okay, more of these again. God, the amount I'm going to place of these by the end of this build is going to be legendary. Such a crazy amount of them. I see Hermit spending a lot of time on crafting too, says Mythic Wind. Yeah. When you play this game for a long time, certain aspects just become repetitive and lose their novelty. And let's face it, you know, crafting stuff is quite fun when you're new to the game. Especially when you're doing some like crazy big crafting where it's like, whoa, I need to get like all of these materials together and like craft 1,000 of this block. That's going to be interesting. And then once you've done that a few times, like the novelty kind of wears off a bit. That's what I'm saying. It's like I don't want to play this game with changes as if they're for vanilla and every player should have them, but just for my own experience. What's the point of Hermit's own servers? I don't know what you mean by that, Hermit's own servers. Do you mean fan servers? It's for like fans to play on? You see, fan communities tend to reflect the creator to some extent. So if you're looking for an experience like Hermitcraft, playing on one of the Hermit's Patreon servers is probably a good way to find like-minded people that want to share a similar experience. So the Hermitcraft Patreon servers and those sorts of things, they serve that really. And yes, I have my own LPMT, as Fegley points out. DJ Echo, 54 months of support. Thank you so much, my dude. Appreciate it. And peeps, 1,400 of you here now. Be sure to hit that follow button here on Twitch. Get notified of when I go live, as I say. I always preferred to play straight SMP servers with as little mods plugins as possible, says Temperate. Yeah, I'm not a vanilla purist. The times where I was, Let me think. Season 3 of Hermitcraft, Season 1 and 2, like obviously. Think about Season 4, maybe? Between Seasons 4 and 5, the idea of having mods and stuff, or tweaks and changes became way more appealing. Because once you played the game for like 10 plus years in a particular, well, not at that time, but you know, once you played the game a long time in the same style, it's like you kind of start looking for something different. Hey X, when you design your own builds, do other people help you? Depends which one you're talking about. I've had help for some. Some have been designed by other people, some are done by myself. Certainly in the past, it was just mostly myself. Then again, there was the Plot World community. I certainly built things with help from there and some people's designs. Like my Season 6 base is like a... It's not... I don't think it was someone else... Well, it was their style. Like there was... I think it's Ottomania was building these geometric shapes. And I was really inspired and wanted to sort of build one, and they showed me how to create these shapes, and then together we kind of built like a bunch of wild geometric shapes, and then I spent ages in world editing, like scaling them up and stitching them all together to create this like bizarre thing that just sort of came out of the ocean. So collaboration, you know, collaboration in anyone's build is always there. Like, no one can say, oh, this is 100% me, because you're inspired by things you've seen in real life. You're inspired by other people's Minecraft builds and styles. You know, you learn from other Minecraft builds and styles how to build better sometimes. So there's a lot of sort of overlap there, but in terms of directly working with other people, yeah, it happens through like community, through the plot world, through reaching out to people and whatnot. There we go. Right, that should do that last bit. Samuth Gnir says, I've learned so much about building from the hermits. So yeah, so if you then come up with a really cool build, part of that will be from us, right? But then how did we learn how to build like that? Well, from other people. There's always something that comes before the thing. Whatever it is, movies, art, you know. Blowback X, thank you for 3 months. Started playing Minecraft again for the first time in a year. Feeling great. Trying to get me into it again. Awesome. I hope you enjoy it. Mr. Dark 21, 3 months of support right there. And Emmalou Didu, 71 months. Thank you so much. As always, appreciate the support. And I hope you all enjoy the stream. It's kind of hard to reach that one at the bottom there, isn't it? I wonder if I could place and strip them at the same time. I guess I'd have to put the axe in the offhand. I can't be bothered to do that. Where do y'all get your mods from? Places like CurseForge? Mod repositories, basically. Oh, logs in the offhand is the way you do it. Okay. Well, let's at least give that a try for a second. Ah! Now I can just hold... Oh, wow. That is good. Can I just continuously hold down... Wow! Awesome. I did not expect it to be like that on point. Do I want this bit to be blue or not? I think I'm going to leave this bit red and then the next bit's blue, right? Dang it, one short. How unlucky. Cool, now you can see I've got a whole bunch of other stuff to build here. So I think what we'll do next is get some deep slate tiles. And put some of that stuff in. This last bit's probably going to be the hardest of all as well. Just got a feeling. Oh, and maybe we'll take some of that stuff for the final platform. But I do actually think we're done with most of this for now. And now let's make a whole bunch of those things. Sweet, that should do us. There's probably something else important I've missed, but that'll do us. Mason, another gifted sub. Thank you so much, my dude. Appreciate you doing that. Danny21095, be sure to say thanks in the chat. We always appreciate the gifting of the subs. So if it keeps on going like that, then who is the first, says not Archeon? What a great question. What a great question. So let's say we go as far back in time as like caveman painting on walls, right? Drawing things, animals they've seen. Like that's an origin of expression there. Maybe what we're asking is like, what was the first ever creative expression? I mean, it's easy to trace like art and music to previous arts and music in its various forms. But when you go back as far as like caveman creating, that's like something we've got a record of. So like, what might we not have a record of? Maybe you could say how people communicate with language to each other is the basis for then other types of communication, like visual or music or you know, auditory, or whatever the medium is. Perhaps that is the first one. So like, maybe the first bit of like art or whatever we're calling it is someone using language not just to communicate reality, but like an idea that they've had in their head. And who's to say that humans were the first to do something like that? Are animals capable of expressing? They're certainly capable of expressing emotions, right? Right, this tree's going to have to go. It's too close, isn't it? Is that one too many, or is there just also one here? And then what's that block next? Bone block facing down. That's going to be tricky, that bit. I mean, the whole thing's going to be tricky, basically. Yeah, I feel like actually bone blocks and stone might be a bit of a better shout to put in place first. Then there's a bit of redstone gizmo we got to do here. Ugh, I don't know. Don't know what order to build it in. Okay, then that goes to there, and that's it, isn't it? See, I think I'll put like stone as a placeholder. That seems to be sort of smart, because that allows me to just, well, come over to the next bit, but then I want to put the next bit like this. I would say that the first is just the earth in general. If you're inspired from another build, it goes to the builder. The builder goes to an art style, it goes to other people. They could seen something natural they found that been inspired. Yeah, so nature is the first inspiration. Because in order for the mind to conceive of something to be inspired by and then to remix and create, before we put things in our environment that are of that nature, there is only nature, right? That seems to make sense to me. So nature is the first inspiration. We figured it out, peeps. Alright, shout it from the rooftops. We figured out what the first inspiration was. It was nature. Okay, no one else has figured that out before, I'm sure of it. I'm sure of it. Music is a bit intense, says Bucket List. Just how I like it. It's a shame there's not a lot of shouting and screaming in this one, though, you know, and loud guitars where you can't make out what on earth they're doing. And, you know, drums that sound like an explosion's gone off. I mean, without those things, what is music? You know? What's this? Looking down at Earth from space is surely inspirational. I thought you were going to say, like, that was the first inspiration, and then we get to go all like UFO-y in X-Files. Like, who's to say that the first inspiration didn't come from somewhere else in the galaxy? jump to there. What are your like Matic render settings? I like the transparency. I can't remember. It was just set to something that was visible. Like, just play around with the slider and you'll get something you like. 626s. Thank you ever so much for 5 months. Thank you for that Prime subscription. Tell you what, peeps. I've been sat down for too long. Something has to change, but just in a moment. Let's do a little bit more building first. Have you listened to Trove Low's new record, says Mythsexo. Well, I've never heard of Trove Low, so no. I listened to the new... I think I talked about that last time I streamed, the new Lorna Shore record. Ah! Not actually listened to it again yet, I think. You can stand up while building. I can. Yeah, I guess I can. I just kind of want to finish this little round of placing these deep slate blocks, I guess. Ha! Got ya. Did you know that Earth is actually extremely smooth on the scale, way smoother than a cue ball? I did, yeah. There's that expression, flat as a pancake, but the Earth is flatter than a pancake. Pancakes are relatively bumpy. Now I want to eat a pancake. Dang it! Oh, there's one curry house that does a pancake starter. What one is that? I might order from there. Oh, I really do like that one. Oh, not food again, says Dev Chimera. Who likes food discussion and who doesn't? Come on, once and for all. Speak up. I'm seeing mostly good, quite a few no's. Chimera says, I hate it loudly, it makes me hungry. Especially if it's curry. What's wrong with being hungry, though? It's just a feeling, right? I'm hungry. I'm always hungry, though. I'm never not hungry, me. Right, I'm going to switch to standing. Hungry isn't a pleasant feeling, X, says Estelian Myelin. It's not... it may not seem pleasant, but it's not awful. And it's manageable. If you feel hungry, just guzzle down on some water and like drink a bottle of water, and that hunger will go away a little bit. Speaking of which, I'm going to drink some water. Dev Chimera says, I'm bad at stopping my hunger if it's not by eating lots of food. When you next eat, get like a litre of water, and between every bite, drink some water. Not only will it help you digest easier, you might just find that it makes you feel more satiated. Also, what you choose to eat is a huge part of how full you feel. If you have loads of carbs, you're just not going to fill your belly and you're going to be left wanting more. If you have a lot of protein, you're going to be way more satiated. But everyone's different, so I don't think it's a cut-cast thing for everyone, but it's sort of a generalized rule of thumb that it works that way. Notes taken, trying doesn't hurt, thanks X. Awesome. I hope it works out for you. And if it doesn't, don't give up on trying different things either. Like, it should just be about trying different things and finding out what works for you, because everyone's physiology is different, right? So what works for me might not work for you. But hey, you know, I only found it through like just listening to other people talk about how they deal with this stuff, and I thought, well, I'll give it a try, and it worked. It's also okay to eat when you're hungry. Food's good, says Everstew. Yeah, it sounds reasonable, but, you know, it depends who you're talking to, because some people overeat. And how hungry you are is a hormonal thing. It doesn't necessarily mean your hormones are operating in an optimal way, right? For example, my hormones are all day hungry, 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 X, eat food, hungry, hungry, eat food, X, eat food. That's what my hormones do all day long. So I have to be attentive and thoughtful and you know, find other things to do. Make sure I drink water and have cups of teas regularly, so it just kind of suppresses that a little bit. You might be pregnant. I might be pregnant, apparently. Not sure how that works, but I might be. Looks like I missed one or two blocks, but that's okay. So I think we've got to get messy and get in there with the stone blocks and the bone blocks. Curl says, I think a meal routine helps with that. Yeah, routine definitely does. Do you know what was actually probably the easiest part of the day for me in terms of hunger? Is when I finish my last meal. Now, due to how hunger hormones work and how it is for most people, it seems that, like, eating at the end of the day is, like, it's easier to eat at the end of the day. And for most people, I think it's easier to not eat earlier in the day. Like, right after you've woken up. But for me, like, I eat my last meal of the day real early. And for some reason, like, a lot of the time it just kind of, I don't know, it's like maybe I've just, like, trained myself, and I know, because usually after I eat my last meal, I then go and, like, live stream or have a bunch of work to do, right? Because the morning's all exercise and jobs and stuff, and then I do that, and most of the time just goes by without me thinking about it. It's the beginning and the middle of the day that's probably more difficult for me. Let's avoid the bit with the redstone for now. Then we got 2 lots of signs, so we'll do that next. Signs and bone blocks. I think I'm going to pause the recording again. Gigapie is the only meal you need, as Ren would say. Okay, so Ender Pearl, land here, then put the block. But, do you know what? Place above the bar, you'll get it back, is what it needs to say. But let's do it without all the capitalization. Place above bar. Place above bar, you'll get it back. It'd be nice if I could just copy and paste that. Get it back. Then we go to the top. I'm going to put one more. Even it kind of feels to me like it's missing, even though technically it's not. What? No! How do following alert? Don't know quite what you're asking there. What was it again? Place above bar, you'll get it back. That's in the wrong spot, isn't it? Let's try again. Cool. You can use copy paste. Can I? I missed one. I mean, I could do one line. We'll see. Get it back, it says. This music sounds evilly triumphant, says Two Eels. Ah, you're feeling it. You're feeling it now. This is very dramatic music for writing on signs. Absolutely. Get it back. If you are hungry, you should eat. It's what you eat that makes the difference. Eating because you are bored or stressed is different than eating when you are hungry. If you are hungry, eat. You may find you are less stressed since you aren't putting food in your body. Just eat real food, not cookies, etc., says Rhino. You know, maybe I've said some things to that extent in this stream, but I don't think it's good to just assert bold, do this, do that statements. It's like more about building an understanding of how hormones and hunger works and factoring in your own personal situation or needs, or there's no one answer fits all, right? Was it get it back? Which is a bit of a weird thing to say. Because I get what you're trying to say. It's just like, look, if you eat real food and whatnot, but you've got to remember we exist in an environment where a lot of food is engineered to be very addictive and craving, full of sugars. So it's hard to actually rely on just your hunger hormones for the most person. Look, if I said that to someone whose diet consisted of McDonald's, I'd probably be right. If I said it to someone who lived on a farm and, you know, had meat and eggs and fresh vegetables every day, I'll probably be getting it wrong. So there's always a context and there's always things to be considered. So, like, educating someone to understand these things as opposed to telling them what to do is probably the more preferable way to approach it. That's supposed to be something different, is it? Oh, maybe it's just a block that got rotated wrong. Oh, it says bar on the sign, and then I went and changed it to panes. Huh. Let's go get those redstone blocks in here, and where I missed a few, we can certainly put a few back. Yeah, I kind of went all the way up on this one without putting these blocks in. Bit odd. So it's sticky pistons, observer blocks. I can't remember if they were redstone or not. Excuse me. In fact, I think that was it. X opinion on vapes. I live by a place with a lot of teens vaping. If you vape, you're doing something that hasn't been studied over a long period of time, and it's also fueled by an industry that likes to pick out some favourable studies and say that it's safe and whatnot. It took a long time for smoking to come around and be proven to be terrible. So there was a point in time when your doctor might have suggested that you smoke, and there are times now where doctors say, look, do vaping instead of smoking. But the long-term effects we just don't know yet. So you're really taking a gamble on your health with something that is, you know, unnecessary. We know that. You know, we didn't come out the womb with a vape in hand. It's not part of our environment. It's something artificial we're doing. To be exact, even if you eat healthy and exercise, if you have thyroid problems, while it's possible to lose weight, it requires far more effort than taking hormone pills. I know, since sadly it's hereditary in my family, says Megalagor. Yeah, definitely there can be things like that. What I often say about that, though, is that if that is so, you really want to have that, like, clinically diagnosed, because some people say, oh, I can't lose weight, it's my genetics. And the thing is, like, genetic conditions that stop you being able to lose weight like a regular person are, like, such a small percentage of the population. And thinking that way can potentially just be holding you back from it, because losing weight, like, like the experience of doing it is relative. If you happen to really like exercise, it's probably going to be easier to, like, lose weight than, let's say, if you don't like exercise and you also happen to really like fast food. Then, you know, you might your equivalent of trying to lose weight might just not be enough. You might not just understand what it takes or how much you have to do. And if you end up just passing it off as genetics, like, you might be denying yourself the opportunity to, you know, have the body you want to have, or be in the health and shape that you want to be in. Oh, weight doesn't necessarily define health, says Peas and Soup. Yep, you're absolutely right. But when it comes to being overweight, it's well known that once you go into overweight territory, you are making yourself more susceptible to a variety of different health risks. So yeah, it's like, it's not absolute, it's relative, but in general, if you're overweight, then you may be, you know, you're going to be far more likely to be susceptible to some of these issues. X, how much impact on servers is there from chickens laying eggs that get picked up by mobs? Would it make a difference to have chickens lay eggs like turtles do? You know, it's a matter of it multiplying over time, because those mobs that pick up the eggs don't despawn, over time they can accumulate. So if they're not dealt with, then your world continuously over time has more things to deal with and calculate. So it's really like a factor in the game that just means the older your world is, the more likely it is to be laggy. Mumbo Jumbo uploaded, says Tickertail 2. Now, you know what? Most of the time, it's, like, rude to come to someone else's stream and be like, oh, so-and-so's live, so-and-so's uploaded. It's just not really a cool thing to do. But on this occasion, I'm going to say thanks for letting me know. And I'm curious to see what Mumbo's uploaded. You know, Mumbo's been a legend in this community for such a long time, and clearly just, I think, at one point or another didn't address burnout, or maybe didn't even know it was creeping up on him. Let's go. I'm going to go check it out right now. What did Mumbo upload, eh? Wait, is it real? It might be a troll. It might be a troll. Okay. Website. Come on. There we go. The story of Mumbo Jumbo. What happened? That sounds cool. That sounds like a great way to come back. Tell a story, explain why you've been gone. Awesome. I will watch that later. And now I'm adding things to my playlist. Great. This is not what I'm supposed to be. Right, stop that. I'm distracted. This is what I've noticed, right? When I'm on the computer doing work and stuff, I have to go to Twitter to, like, post a video link or something. But then when I'm on Twitter, all of a sudden I just, like, oh, I'm looking at this tweet, I'm looking at that tweet. It's the same with my subscription feed. When I need to navigate past my library page to somewhere else, as soon as I'm at that library page, it's like, oh, this thing needs watching. Oh, there's a new video. And so quickly does the mind get distracted, and then you can't remember why you were there in the first place. It's so silly. It's so silly. I need a little bit of dye. Not a lot, just a little. A little whittle. Oh, there it is. That's the one. That's how social media is built, says Sir Tumaz. It is, isn't it? Yeah, that's exactly how it's built. They're trying to get your attention. So when you work on social media, oh, it's like you're trying to be productive and do things, and like you're constantly being dragged around, it feels like. Okay, up there and over here. Up there, over here. Right, peeps, guess what I'm going to do right now? I'm going to take a little break. I need to go to the loo. Let's get the camera account off. Save that, and then log out just to be on the safe side. Right, don't go anywhere. I'll be right back, peeps. And I'm back. And let's see if the Be Right Back screen does it. Yes, it's working. Okay. Becca, thank you for gifting a sub to Julio Brewers. Appreciate you gifting the sub. That was a while ago. Must have zoned out on the old noises in the ear. God, terrible, X. Just terrible. Thanks for the Webbers in the chat. Right, so that bit's done nicely. Now it's sort of more... You know, I was going to use the stone, but let's try and use a bit of scaffolding here too, I think. What do we need? Like bone blocks, scaffolding, and yeah. Sort of get it right where I want. Hey, Evil-X is here. It's not... not Night in Row, whose name I will forever butcher. 68 months! Appreciate it, my dude. Hope you're enjoying the stream and having a good time. Crazy months. Crazy months. Of all the names I butcher, that one has been butchered the most, I'm sure of it. Okay. Oh yeah, I need to put in a trapdoor on like one of the previous sections also. You can see there's magma blocks up here too. So we've got like a doubled up bit. Then when I get up there, I guess I'll replace that with a correct block. That should work out pretty well. Oh, and they go... yeah, let's go get those trapdoors then. Let's go get those trapdoors. They're probably in one of these, right? I mean, there's 4, but I need more than 4. Take those, go over here, do that. Sweet. Must remember to come back to this section and add them. Salami, says J. Icarus. What an incredible contribution to the chat today. Salami, how profound. One word just says so much sometimes, doesn't it? Ah! Right, so... bone blocks. Like a so. Ah. Slight problem. Huh. Okay, that looks to be all correct. And then we continue at this spot. Okay. Basically, it's going to get messy. I'm trying to figure out a nice way to put all these blocks here, and it's like, no, it'll just be a mess. So yeah, all of that looks alright, actually. Lieutenant McNugget says, Xisuma, would you say that you're famous? Would you say that I'm famous? Is this what fame looks like? I don't know. Gotta go now, I have exams and need to rest. Yeah, go get your rest. Good luck with the exam. What's this game called? Great question. Did I come up with a name for it? I'm not sure that I did. Yeah, I don't think I did. Like, I don't have a feeling of, like, I came up with one that I'm like, oh, I won't forget that. And didn't write it down or something. I just don't think I came up with a name for it yet. Bucket Rush might be a good name for it. Yeah, my idea really was just like, quick, get on the server, bang this thing out, and then do all the decorative stuff and naming and all of that later on. Is that correct? I think that's correct, yep. Oh, and then bone block goes here. No? Goes one above. Oh, wait. What does that mean then? Oh, I placed it on the stone, I see. Huh. Okay, doing it slightly different than before. There's no wrong or right way to do this, it just needs to get done. Okay. Looks like I need to go sleep again. I should probably get some magma blocks together, right? How many mini-games are there? Are there more planned? I think there's about 5 mini-games in total at the moment, although this one here probably won't get played because we haven't gotten together and sorted out how to play it, basically. Dang, I missed a lot. I didn't think this was Hermitcraft at first because of those custom textures. What custom textures? Do you mean the sticky piston? That's a Vanilla Tweaks resource pack I have on. Or do you mean, are you saying in general in like the... Dang it, people, be more specific with your messages. Gosh. All these ambiguities. I get so lost in them. He means the tools. I mean, you're assuming that. You're assuming that. I meant your tools and helmets. Sorry, says Warmed Corn. See? I told you y'all are assuming that. Okay? Assuming correctly, but, you know, assuming. Assumptions can be wrong sometimes. Gosh. Not always right. A chat is being pretty extra, says Galaxy. Are they? I don't get the joke there. Exhuming. Oh, now I get... Oh. Oh. Excellent. Like with eggs. Yeah. Never heard that before. Yeah, let's go try and finish this side over here. Like, get one side done at a time. Ugh. Ugh. With sound effects, of course. Oh, so actually you managed to get those blocks in place. Right. Okay, that's all good. Back down here. Okay then. Put it on top of there you go. Oh, has anyone here been to the Harry Potter tour world place in London? Although I actually think it's in Watford. But they just say it's in London. Okay, that is this one actually done. Finito. So we can get rid of the stone. Cool. 1 slice of 4. How was it? Peeps are saying yes in chat. How was it? Okay, I think I'm going to need some scaffolding here. Have you seen Mumbo's video yet? Says Lucerus. Yeah, we just watched it together a minute ago while I was streaming. I was like, Peeps, I know you're here for the stream, but I want to watch Mumbo's video. And we watched it together and we all lived happily ever after. Oh, that Mumbo video, eh? And then we pranked Mumbo. When he popped onto the server to say, X, I know you're streaming, but you should definitely watch my video right now. That absolutely happened. The video where you pranked Mumbo, right? No, I'm on about this live stream. See, you've already forgotten about it. That's how clever it was. You didn't even pick up on the subtleties of it. Just, you know, pranking at the next level. That's what it's going to be like. You're not even going to understand that it actually took place. Okay. Yeah, the Harry Potter world. Anyone who's been there, was it any good? Because I have tickets to go. Been wanting to go for some time. Because I heard nothing but good things about it. But was never able to book tickets. You have to go well in advance to get in to see that. It was fun, says Hailey Bailey. Cool. You're going to have fun. Awesome. But Harry Potter's not real, says the Thinky. And neither am I. I'm just a figment of your imagination. Oh, it seems like a lot of you really liked it. That's awesome. I mean, I'm not like a crazy Harry Potter fan or whatever, but those movies are great. I was actually given the book before. Well, the books kind of blew up straight away, right? And then pretty quickly became movies. But I was given one of the books and I didn't really like it. But then when I watched the movie, I was fine with it. Probably because I just weren't into reading that much. Right, get some of those blocks back. Even these blocks still got a squelchy little sound when you walk across them. Yeah, kind of looks like we got it all. In it, says Opranda. In it, bruv. That Harry Potter world, in it, bruv. Go in there, mate. Gonna see some tings. Some tings, eh? Think you're missing a letter, mate. Right, let's pop down here for this one. You haven't read the books first. Sacrilege, says Lil Sagbowl. Is it? I'm not really into reading. Reading gives me a headache. I mean, I managed to... Actually, there was... I'm wording it all wrong. Because I used to read. So, obviously I read when I was a kid. I think most kids get introduced to reading. It's how you learn and whatnot. But then... Oh, how old was I? Maybe like early to mid-20s. I was like, I want to get into reading again. And I read quite a few books. And I started to develop a bit of a habit of reading like novels and stuff. But then I think, I got busy with this, YouTube. And then when I tried to get back to it, I just get headaches from reading. Not like, oh, reading's so terrible, it gives me a headache. I mean, like, I would want to read, but I'd get a headache. And therefore I just don't read. But the thing with the Harry Potter books was like, for whatever reason, I didn't get into it. And when the movies came out, I actually enjoyed the movie. Okay. Now for the magma blocks. The Harry Potter books are very well written, says Becca. They might just be. I don't have much of an appeal for like, because now I know the story from the movies, I kind of don't have much of an appeal. Like, I'm more interested in like newer novel than revisiting certain things over and over again. Not saying that's the wrong or the right way. It's just kind of how I gravitate. Sometimes I think it's like maybe it's a bit of a disappointment. Like, it's really nice to enjoy stuff deeply, like with music, listening to records over and over again. Like, that's a deep enjoyment. You know, you put on Marvin Gaye's "What's Going On," and it don't matter how many hundred times you heard it, it's magic every time. That's like a deep enjoyment of something. And I don't really do that, like with movies or whatnot. With music I do, but yeah, when you're young you tend to like find a movie and that you really like and end up just watching it a whole bunch of times over and over again. I kind of miss that. Like being really into something. The movie is really good and fascinating. I'll go and read the book they're based on, if they are, says Curls of Doom. A lot of movies are based on books, right? Especially some of the early cinema. Most of it was just adaptations of books. The thing he says, speaking of that, I've been going through all your 10s on your blog and give my own thoughts on each. Cool. Cool thing to do. Disclaimer alert though, like, you probably know this, but like the idea of my blog is like for it to be, I mean, it's a bit of a mix. Like sometimes I'll write in a way where it's not that personal, but often it's like, you know, I'll give my favorite record of all time a 10, but I know for most like people or music critics it's not even like a 6 or something. Like I'm not trying to be subjective in any way. There's also probably like albums that I would have once put down as a 10, but now I wouldn't. Like, if you'd asked me when I was 13 what Papa Roach's Infest was, I'd have been like a 10 out of 10. You know? Ignorant. Now it's like a 2. Yeah, things can change with time. Fantasy books aren't the same anymore as you get older. Real-life based stories are so much more exciting now, says Lieutenant McNugget. I don't know if that's a trajectory for everyone, but I have become way more interested in, I don't know, how the world works, technology, all these sorts of things. Whereas when I was younger, it was like just music and stuff that had nothing to do with that. I don't know if it's a getting old thing, or just like, you know... It does certainly, I do get the impression it tends to be what happens with age. You shift in that kind of direction. You just, as you get older, you have so many more responsibilities and you have to do adult things, and it's like, that probably just naturally makes you a bit more interested. Like, if you're paying bills and mortgages and stuff, then all of a sudden you're a little bit more interested when you hear about the government's new economic policy. I already tuned out, X. Already tuned out. You know, when I was young. God, talk about that, and I'll throw something at you. First time you've been able to catch a stream in a while. Well, glad to have you. Peeps, we're actually getting close to getting this thing done. Can you believe it? Such a massive build. Total of about 4 hours of building over here. Totally worth it. As I get older, I found myself shifting from video games to learning more about Europe's history, says Billid. Oh, exactly the same. Exactly the same. Yep. It's just, it seems to be a common thing, right? But maybe it's just because, you know, I'm saying it. Someone else who feels the same way says it. With that kind of bias. Right, looking all good. Just trying to catch anything, you know, that I've missed. But it's all correctly set up. Okay, a few stone blocks here. We'll use the camera count to... I say camera count. We'll use the free cam to fly around and look in a minute. That thing's brilliant. Like, God, the amount of times I've had to, like, log on with a camera count, which is, like, you know, loading up a thing and yada, yada, yada. And slowly I'm learning this one, right? That I can just tap this button, and it's as if I logged in with my camera account. But I didn't have to spend ages loading it up and all that kind of stuff. So this then even overlaps with the mod. So you can see we'll come back here and place those trapdoors. Then it's going to turn to... Okay, so we've got to build this here. This is like the finishing platform. There should probably be like a button. Like maybe I could build a redstone first, second, third system, but I think we'll just have like a judge or a player call it for now. Just thinking, because you can use redstone, like someone can press a button, but then maybe you can build a first detector by the first person to press the button immediately locks all the other outputs. So you could do that with a lever quite easily, but then it wouldn't be like second, third, fourth detector at the same time. If you were to do that, then I think there's quite an interesting redstone challenge there. I don't know how I would start that. I'd certainly need to thoughtfully think through various aspects of what's involved in that. But have a little think for yourself if you like a redstone challenge. How could you create a simple system? Because it's not just like a case of something pops up. You've got to sort of explain to the player this is first, second, and third. So it needs to be clear which lane came in those orders. I don't know. It sounds to me like it could be a fun challenge. Maybe if I come up with some ideas, I'll do a redstone stream and get into that again. I think it was really good fun to do those when we did them. Right, before we place those trapdoors, we'll go do the final bit up there. Like horse speed measuring, says Exaralon. No, not at all, because measuring a horse's speed is just a single activity, right? What I'm talking about is how the player in each lane will have to give your redstone system a signal, right? Of like... Doing a first detector is easy because whoever's first locks out the rest of the signals. But doing a first, second, third, fourth... Now, it's not just a case of like your output is on or off. It's like you need to have a way to display that this is the equivalent of first, second, or third, right? And fourth. You know, like I don't know where to get started on that. Sometimes, like when you do redstone, it's like you imagine all these complexities, and turns out there might be something really simple in the game. I mean, you could like here's a way to do it really simply. Okay, slightly unfair, but simple. If I put a chest here in the middle, obviously there's an advantage for the middle two players. Not by much, but let's just acknowledge that that exists. So if I do that, and I put first, second, and third in there, it's up to the players to pull out first, second, and third. Renamed items, let's say. So then, you know, like... The thing solves itself. The player in the lane gets the outcome they need. But when you do it with redstone, you've got to start thinking, well, how do I do this? What are we going to do? Push up like an armor stand that's got a number on it or something? You know, like how do you represent these things? Do you do it with colored blocks? So you have to start thinking about that, and then you've got to think about the logic that goes into it. That means, you know, this thing happens when that thing happens, and sometimes you can really overthink it and put a whole bunch of different if, buts, and maybes in, and actually what you just needed was something like relatively simple. So that's why it's a good idea to sort of ponder on redstone ideas like that. You missed the stems under the bone blocks. I did not miss no stems, for there is no need for stems under bone blocks. An alternative idea is to give a player a unique token at the chest at the end of the token and use a lock or gate. So they drop off their item. If you can make it so they all equally navigate to one place, then when you check that place and you see... Yeah, like let's say you can get all the hoppers to point into one chest and you can make it so that they all take an equal amount of steps to arrive there, then you could do that. So the challenge then is arranging the hoppers in a way where they actually all equally travel to the same spot. And obviously the problem with that is that your ones here are closer, so maybe they go like out to the side a bit and then back in. We might be able to figure that one out right here, right now. So like, count the blocks. Let's say you got a hopper here. You go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It'll be mirrored on that side. So then here you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Except we've now potentially overlapped. And I'm not sure what that means. If two sets of hoppers point into one another. Anyway. There's many ways you could approach this. Apparently I missed a bone block over here. There's supposed to be one more at the very final bit. Hey, we had a noise in the ear 5 minutes ago and I was totally oblivious. Charming Mango, thank you ever so much for 2 months of support. It is greatly appreciated. I hope you're entertained, enjoying the stream. Thank you so much for your subscription, and to all the peeps tuned in, be sure to hit the follow button over here on Twitch if you haven't done so already. Just saving my replay. Did I get the naming on that one right? Yes. Wow. Got like 2 hours of building footage and we haven't actually finished it. There's 4 more blocks to be placed. Actually, I think there's... Hold up a sec. Oh no, I did put those ones in. Okay. Yeah, and this tree here, this one's got to go at some point. But right now, I want to get those trapdoors in. And after that, I'm not sure what's next. Probably going to get a bunch of basalt and start working on the outside of the thing. Land! Oh, sweet. That's it, it's finished. And, oh no, I've got to put lava in, then it's playable. Oh, and I missed a block over here. Well, dang it. Make sure I haven't missed anything else too. Let's get some stone blocks. Wouldn't it be easy to use coloured fireworks with pressure plates in the finish line to indicate the winner? Well, it's just a visual representation. It's just the same as someone getting there and hitting the lever first. So it requires someone to watch what's happened. If you don't have a watcher, how do you know who was first? That's why I proposed redstone, is you'd be able to create something that's permanent in its place. Like, I don't know, an item in a chest that says this player was first. There's an idea. Like, you could have... You could potentially have, like, a dropper with an item in it that says... Oh, no, wait. You would need to use something sequential. So, like, a chest has first, second, and third, and fourth in it. And it has a hopper underneath. Right? And if you activate it for a split second, it pulls out the very first item. So you can get the first thing out that way. But then, how do you tell it where to go? So it navigates to the correct lane to say... that player pulled the item out of the chest. So, you know, redstone has so many mechanics. There's probably one that's really, like, adapt for this, but I'm not sure what it is. Apparently YouTube stopped working. Dang. Vanher21, thank you for 59 months. Greatly appreciated. Hope you're enjoying the stream. Having a good time, all of that. Let's check the light level up here, yeah. Ah! That This stuff... I'm sure in this area it was checked. Did I miss a block somewhere? I think somewhere there's supposed to be a lamp, but it would it show us? Oh, do you know what I can do now? Now that you've seen the whole build, it's not a spoiler. Wrong server. It's not a spoiler to go on here. Although there might be other stuff that I'm spoiling. Let's just face this way. I could have swore that I did that. No, it looks like I missed it over here. Okay. I think what I'm going to do is just put a light source there, and it should shine down to that area and across to here. And then maybe one in the ending area. Does magma still absorb light? I don't know what happened to the magma block mechanic when they changed it. Like, I don't think it absorbs. I don't know what it does actually. Like, I haven't a clue. But I seem to remember it not being useful. Like it forgets or something. Like you give it a light value, but eventually it will just forget it. Could be wrong. Okay, and where did we put them? Like, can't quite see. When you can't see, just do that. Yeah. Oh, I thought I put it one lower. Okay, I didn't. So it'll go here. Right, and that should take care of the lighting thing. So now it's really about putting a whole bunch of basalt around the outside as just kind of like a shell, really. Maybe one that we decorate a little bit later on or make look interesting at some point. But that, my friends, is the game right there. All built and ready to go, technically. Might need to put a couple of items in the chest down the bottom. Oh yeah, and the lava. Okay, the lava. So it's not all ready to go. Still a bunch of this hanging out. So we'll pop that off. We'll put in some lava. Check the chests at the beginning. Right, lava buckets. We actually need some more space here, really, don't we? Let's take 4 over there. Now, when it comes to the items that go in the chest at the front, it's empty buckets. Which should be in one of these, right? Unless, I think I had them earlier and threw them away. Guess I need some iron. And then we need leather. Where do I keep leather? There it is. I think I need 16. There you go. So if we hop on up to the beginning, each one of these needs 2 buckets. Wow, okay, that caught me out. Not only does it need that, it actually needs a chest. Wow. Guess I can probably turn that off now as well, right? So yeah, each player has 2 buckets and leather boots, and that's it. And they run the gauntlet and see how they can get through it as fast as possible. There are multiple ways of solving problems in front of you, and different techniques that you can use for traversing the terrain. There are some simple rules though, like you have to stay in your lane, and you can only place your powder bucket sort of in your lane. You can't put it off to the side. You are allowed to like fall down onto these areas, but if you do, you'll see they've been designed so that like if you land here, you've got to go back to that bit. If you land here, then you can hop back on there and start again. Similar probably, well, if you fall off onto this, you can probably just walk straight back on. Yeah, those might actually, again, you can't just like deliberately drop off and walk onto the next bit. That probably needs to be stated as well. The idea is you always stay in your lane. And then there's a whole bunch of challenges, right? One of which is traversing downwards with lava. Deadly, deadly lava at the bottom. What is the mini game about, says Nathan Codes. I am absolutely not explaining how to play this game at all right now. So it'll forever be a mystery. Now, does that fill up like every spot? Oh, it doesn't. Doesn't. Gotta redo that then. Lava be gone, please. God, it's gonna be slow to remove as well. In that case, what we'll do is we'll double up the amount of lava, I think. Woo! Ow! Right. Just to keep it nice and simple. Whoa, 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 whoa! Oh, and if you land in the lava, it's basically game over. Yeah, I might have to come and change these blocks on the side to be basalt or something. But yeah, now you got to make your way downwards to here. Oh look, I left some scaffolding in it. There's always something, isn't there? And there's a bit of stone there. How did I miss it? How did I miss it? Hermit Roaster is a good name right there. I think I'm going to call it, what was it I said earlier? Bucket Rush? We can probably come up with a sign in the next stream or something for that as well. Right, I bet you there's still more somewhere, isn't there? Looks clean to me. Awesome. Awesome. The floor is lava. Well, for the most of the game it isn't. But yeah, that would work for that little bit. Right, my friends, this is where I wrap up today's live stream. Of course, hit that follow button if you haven't done so already. I'll be streaming again. Unlikely tomorrow, but maybe. If they don't release a snapshot tomorrow, they might release on Tuesday or Wednesday. I don't know. Streaming's going to be a little up in the air at the moment. But anyway, hit the follow button before you head out of here. Also, if you're looking for content to watch, I've launched the discussions playlist on the main channel with all the talky content about the Minecraft game itself. The Xisuma Says has had 3 new videos, a couple related to Minecraft out recently, and I launched a new channel called Extra as well. So lots for you to go check out and do. You can go to linktree.xisuma.co if you want to find links to any of that stuff. You're streaming in a hot air balloon. That's correct. Yeah, we're miles above the ground. Don't know who told you that, but you know, let the secret out of the bag. Why don't you? I'm looking for a channel for y'all to raid, by the way. Here you go. Apparently, someone's been live for 30 hours. Gosh, how do they do it? I'm exhausted after 2. Right, raiding a random channel to support the Minecraft community, and I'll see you all later. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.